It's live streaming. We're it's live streaming. We're talking about live streaming. I'm still waiting for my co-host, but I can do this on my own. I'm pretty good at it. I know all about live streaming, so I do it weekly. So the question has come about quite often: should you or should you not live stream? How many subscribers do you need to live stream? How do you fill up the time do you need to live stream for? How long should you be live streaming? And how good is it for your business in the long run? Is it even a waste of your time? So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So I'm just going to tell you my story. When I started on YouTube, live streaming, I think you just needed 100 subscribers. And I started live streaming very early on. I didn't get anybody on there. Honest to God, I swear. There were 5 guys and they all ran a tool channel, and they felt really bad for me. So they'd show up every week and I would just live stream. And I was just talking about random crap. I wouldn't even do anything significant. But then I realized that you had to kind of make it into a show. I learned my lesson. So I started like a trivia show about real estate because I knew but let's just be honest, real estate is really freaking boring, especially back then. There wasn't anything really exciting happening. So I was just asking people trivia questions. So I'd pull up my old real estate books and ask questions of the audience to see if they knew the answers. And then it got to be like where I no longer had 5 people. I had about 30 people. And then just to add more to the excitement of it all, if you won at the end of my live stream, you would get a cup. You would win a cup. So I'd send out these cups and everything. And then I got like really kind of, it trickled off right at 60 people. Back in 2019, I learned a lot more about live streaming. And I found out some things. What I thought you needed to do, and everybody makes this mistake, is they kind of treat it like a podcast, and they'll say, they'll write like on the title, live episode 10 or 12 or whatever. They'll write the episode and then they'll give the title of the live stream. That was mistake I was doing. Number 1 was wrong. So you always named it Real Estate Trivia Night. And then I would, whatever the theme was for that specific type of trivia. So that was wrong. So don't ever do that. So if you're going to, the biggest lesson I can tell you right now is that if you're going to do a live stream about anything, don't name it an episode, or don't say part 1, 2, or 3. Name it a title, right? Name it an actual title for something that people would want to click on. You have to treat your live stream thumbnail and title exactly like you would a video. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that at all, because I was just following what I thought other people were doing, where they were basically using the same exact photo every single week, and they'd be like week 52 of the live stream. That was as soon as I made that change, that started helping things. I ditched the whole trivia thing altogether, and I started treating it more like a conversation with people in the audience about what was going on in the news today. And that started off like, I, got the original 60, then it kind of faded out to like 30 because they were expecting free cups. And then it started picking back up again with new people that were actually interested in what was going on in the real estate news. So I knew I was onto something. And I found out the other thing too. I used to only do them for like 30 minutes. One day out of nowhere, I had gotten it up to like 50 minutes. The minute I got it to 50 minutes, it rose to 100 people watching. Then it rose to 140 people watching. And then it was 230 people watching. And the sweat was dripping off my, like, I didn't know what to do, because I was running the live stream by myself. And the comment section is going nuts. And I started freaking out. And you could tell, like, I should probably find this, but you could tell my voice was starting to shake. I was so scared because I've just never seen that many people jump on my live stream. And then it got up to 300. And I realized once I reached over at 1 hour mark, it was over 300 and it was climbing. So I just kept talking and talking and talking and asking questions and trying to get the audience involved. And the more I got the audience involved into the conversation, where the chat was going crazy, the more people got involved into the live stream. So I learned some lessons. So, but how do you repeat that? So to set it up ahead of time, I went ahead and started finding articles that have popped up. So I just type in at the top, real estate market. And I would look up for the top articles and try to find things that related to one another. So at that time, it was a lot of things going on about new construction. So I did a live stream, like what you don't know, what, let's talk about what's going on in new construction, something like that. And, oh, I know what it was. Never mind. It was, I said the real estate market is about to explode, right? And I had a house for sale with a nuclear bomb mushroom cloud. I used that one a couple times because when I did that, I had over 500 people on my stream. And luckily, I had a guest with me on that time. And that was the other thing. I started inviting other real estate agents to have a conversation with me because don't get me wrong, I can talk. I can talk to a wall. Like I have no problem. I talk to myself all day long. So it's not that hard for me to talk to a camera. And that's when I knew I had something. I had the right thumbnail, I had the right title, and I had a lot to talk about. And then we had a conversation, not only with the guests, but with the audience itself. So that's the key with live streaming. Oh, look, our guest made it.
Hey!
Hey, nice of you to join us.
Oh, I don't even have an excuse that it would be fun, so I'm not even going to say it.
You weren't pooping, were you?
No, I'm dealing with some real estate fraud.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, not me personally, but one of my friends. So, yeah.
People in the chat.
Call him Late Joe. Listen, handsome Joe, keep it up.
Everybody's saying hi to one another. We're all making friends here.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah. Everybody's making fun of you now for coming in late.
Hey, it's fine. You know what? Part of live streaming is that you get to interact with your audience, and you can totally take it. And I get it. I'm totally down for getting roasted to a degree.
Okay, so I like the reason I want you guys to be aware of something. The reason I picked talking about live streaming today is because I'm hyper aware of what goes on in the group that Malcolm and I run together in the real estate mastermind group. And for the last week or two, people have really talked about live streaming. I have to tell you, and this is the God honest truth, out of all the lead sources with my videos that I have, live streaming gives me the most referrals out of everything else I do. Now, I'm not saying only live stream because that isn't what brings the subscribers to your channel. The subscribers and people that are interested in you are the ones that are watching your videos. And of course, they're going to call from that. But that human connection with a live stream is what's going to get really people clicking on your form to fill out, to get connected with you for, whether to make appointments or for referrals. I'm just telling you right now. And the one thing I want to share with you, hold on, I'm just going to open this tab right here. And this is all I do. All I type in is real estate market every single week. And I just look at what the top, we'll just see if it'll get, all right, real estate market. So it will say the top stories. And then I just hit news. And then it'll say rising market puts a tax sign on every house in the country. And, like pending sales. So it like, for instance, a pending sales drop, like that's a good topic for people because they're wanting to go, oh, why are pending sales dropping? If there's like a big significant decrease in interest rates, that's a good live stream topic because it changes every single week,
Right.
So these are like things that you should really be paying attention to. Just like I pay attention to things in that group. You need to be paying attention to things that are happening in the news because you're going to see on Monday what the conversation is going to be completely different than what the conversation is on Friday. And I will like haphazardly kind of make a thumbnail, an idea for my live stream on Sunday, on Monday prior. But then that could easily change if Friday something new comes out, like something happens with the Fed, something happens with interest rates. Then I'll change that live stream topic because it needs to be something that is relevant today. It's almost like a news, you're their news source, and then they can discuss it with you. Like there was a big thing about HOAs for a hot minute. So that's when you start talking about HOAs. You know, you just, and then you bring up the articles. So that way you're not necessarily the source. You're the source of the source. And you can talk about what, you know, there's so many ridiculous freaking headlines out there when it comes
Right.
to live streaming. So you can have that discussion, like, listen to this line that, you know, they said, blah, 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 blah. Do you think that? Because it really doesn't make any sense to me. And then the conversation in the chat will, you know, change as well. So,
you know, one thing that I want to bring up, especially if they're just getting started, is that there is anxiety. There's a little bit of fear of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I'm just looking at a camera. I'm just talking, but I don't know what I should really do or how I should do it. And honestly, like the easiest thing is to start. And like, if like, I know there's people asking questions about like, what do you do to prepare? What do you do? Like, if it's really hard for you in the beginning, invite a guest and have a guest come on and talk with them, just like Kristina and I do. We talk a lot, and then we bring up stuff and we add value by going through and doing channel reviews or whatever. But to be honest with you, when we first started doing live streams, I was nervous, like super nervous, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know, like, why would anyone want to listen to what I have to say? Like, what does anyone care about? Like, who am I to like say anything? There's people that do this stuff way better than me and this and that. And what's interesting is, even though that's true, there's also things that I have that people don't know how to do, and experiences that I've done that people don't. And so like you just have to get over that fear. And it's the only way to get over it is to go through it and to actually be consistent. I mean, even though I'm late today, how many live streams have we missed a live stream? I think we've missed one, right? We for was it Christmas?
one of them, the signal was terrible, so I just kicked
Oh,
you
I
off.
was in Bora Bora. That's why.
Yeah, I kicked you off. I was like, this is terrible. You're out of here, Joe.
Yeah. But I mean, but honestly, like it was one of those things where we've made a commitment to do it every single Thursday, and we haven't missed really. I mean, and we talk, and our prep.
Thanksgiving, we took that day off. We took
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
I think
off.
that's the only one that we actually intentionally took off. But other than that, and it was because it was on Thanksgiving. But anything else, like our prep is pretty simple. We're like, hey, what do you want to talk about this week? How about this? It's really Kristina asking me, and then I'm like, that's really good. What do you think? And then she's like, let's do it.
I usually just, how it usually goes is like, hey, what do you want to talk about? He says, I don't know. And I go, how about this? He goes, okay.
That's like literally like almost every single week. I think there may be one or two that I might have said, hey, what about this? But most of the time she already has a great pulse on what you guys need and what questions you have. And I'm kind of that lurker that's on the group, just seeing what people say. But I will tell you that like live streaming has gotten so much easier because we've done it. And that's the hardest thing. I even did a live stream with Kristina remember when you were doing interview, like when you bring people on, guests on for your real estate one. And we did one like that. And I was like terrified. I hated it. And then Eddie was in the background moving me around, and I'm like, why is my face so close to the camera? And like, why am I doing, and like, it was I didn't tell you this, but like, I was like terrified of that whole experience because it's live. It's like, oh man, like people see it. Now I'm like, I don't care, whatever.
I think the biggest fear for most people is that no one's going to show up. And you know what? When you do your first live streams, nobody's going to show up.
Which is great.
Which is great because you can practice, right? You're going to practice how to fill in dead air, right? And what I used to do is I would have at least 4 articles ready, right? And I would, like I knew what those articles were going to be about.
Right.
So, and then I would, I already knew what quotes I was going to, talk about, and just, ramble and ramble. I just kept talking and talking and talking. And then it became easier. I didn't have guests on until later. And it's good to have a guest on, but people are genuinely there for you. And this is one of those other things that I found out is that when I didn't have guests on as much, I actually had better responses for the filling out of the form, for referrals. The more I had guests on, they didn't really fill them out. Another thing too is that just because you have a guest on doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say.
Right.
Right. So like,
Wait, I
even though
agreed. Wrong.
yeah, I concur. You know, like I've had guests on and they've said some cockamamie things, and I'm like, hold on a minute, that doesn't make any sense. And not only that, you have to know who your audience is. So I had somebody on my podcast that I was told to have on. I had them on, and they were a real estate investor, and they were talking about how much money they were making buying up all these properties and investing. And he was just tooting his own horn the whole entire time. And I'm like, I think you're at a loss here, because the people that are in my audience right now you're the kind of person they can't stand
Yeah,
because
they're
they
turned
can't find
off.
affordable home.
Yeah.
You know, how are these people going to relate to you? What can they do to not just look at a house as an investment, but how can they find an affordable home? What would you suggest for them to do? And it was like a deer in headlights. He was like, well, like, I'm like, well, how did you get your first house? You know, since, you know, like you didn't start with 500, properties. How did you get your very first one?
Yeah.
Well, I leveraged my equity in my house. I'm like, well, what if you didn't have that? What would you do? And he was like,
right.
And so when you challenge people, it isn't necessarily like a bad thing,
No, I think a lot of people actually like that more, because it's two sides of the story, rather than like, oh, everything is great, and then your audience is feeling like, well, why, like, what am I doing? But if you have someone that's, especially if you understand your audience and you're like, well, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. Explain, and maybe your understanding is different than theirs, and there may be two different ways of doing it, but you don't always have to be agreeable.
Right. And knowing your audience is perfect. I was once on Bigger Pockets, and they're all full of investors, and then they had me on there, which wasn't the same thing. So the way they were talking, they were like, what do you think about build to rent? I'm like, I think they're freaking terrible. And they were like, really? I said, yeah, from a perspective of someone trying to find an affordable home, and then you just filled a whole entire neighborhood for build to rent, and they never have an opportunity to buy a house. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? And they were like, well, for the ROI for an investor. I'm like, yeah, but
but for the person that's trying to, like, working every day and doesn't have a place to live, or the rents are getting jacked up because they don't have a place to live.
And then, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. So when I looked at the comment section, they were half on my side. They were like, oh, I liked her. And then the other one were like, she's delusional, but whatever, like,
yeah. But it makes for really good content when you do that. It's
right.
You don't always have to agree. And sometimes it's good to get a different point of view, because then you reach a wider audience that are like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize that going down this path, you could do it this way. Or, maybe someone that has never invested, it sparks something to say, hey, maybe I should look into doing that.
Living in Wilmington County, Williamson, golly, boy, I'm gonna get it together at some point. They want to know what form I'm talking about. So what I do during my live streams, I always say, look, if you're looking for a real estate agent in your area, just let me know. I'm connected with thousands across the country. Just go ahead and fill out the referral form, or you can go directly to my website at KristinaSmallhorn.com. My website is very easy. You only can do two things, and both of them require you to fill out a form. One of them is a collaboration request, which is for companies or brands that want to work with me. The second one is for client referrals, and that's it. But your form is going to be completely different. Whatever how you're going to run your channel for a business, that's how your forms are going to work out.
Yeah, it literally is like a lead capture. Like, you're just trying to capture leads. So whatever information is important to you, like, for example, we have one of those on our channel, The Real Estate Geeks. We have a free channel review. So what is important to us is your first name, last name, phone number, email, your YouTube channel, and if you have any questions, if you can't make the live stream. So they fill all that stuff out, and then we do channel reviews. So
then you get on a drip mail campaign.
Yeah, and then you get invited to join our course.
Yeah, because this whole thing that we do is we give to you So that way you will want to connect with us on our course. This is all a lead funnel, this whole
Yep.
thing. And we've been very clear about that from the very get-go.
Right.
Yeah, but
But
our
it
course is
works
worth
though.
it.
That's the thing is like we have value that you find something that you like, or it's like, oh, I like watching those people, or they're giving some really good information. It's not like we're not hitting you up to join our course for an hour long. It's, hey, we're providing value that will help you on something that you want to do, which is grow your YouTube channel. Maybe you want to learn how to live stream. So we're helping you with those things. And then you have that incentive. And it's the same thing in real estate, is that you're educating them, you're helping them to understand, like, something that maybe they don't understand. Maybe they want to buy an investment property and have never done it. So your live stream, and it goes back to like exactly what Kristina says. If you know your audience, then you're going to be talking to things that matter to them. And that's how you get the leads, not only leads, but like referrals too. It may be like, man, you gave such good information, I had to share it with my friend. And then
Exactly.
they fill out, so that's the power of having a good audience that who you're talking to, and then having good, clear call to actions where they can do two things: book a consultation, or
Fill out a referral form.
fill out a referral. That's it. Like
Yep.
they don't need to go on the MLS on your website and all this stuff. They have Zillow, they have Trulia, they have Realtor.com. There's a gazillion sites out there like that. You don't need that anymore. It's more of how do you get their information so that that you can work directly with them. And if they filled that out, more chances than not, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you had time to talk to me because I've been watching you for like 6 months or whatever. And you actually reached out to me after I filled out this form. That's a solid lead.
Yep, absolutely. And they're hot when they've taken that effort and those steps to actually fill out a form. They're a hot lead. Hot.
Yeah.
I will. Ellen had a good question. She said, "Erin, where are you finding your guests?" Ellen, I'm going to tell you. Like what a great place to find guests is to go into the group that Malcolm and I have, the YouTube Real Estate Mastermind, and just go, "Hey, I'm going to be talking about cottage homes. Does anybody else sell cottage homes or have cottage homes in their area that we could talk about it on a live stream for about an hour?" You'd be surprised how many people would want to do it. I go on all podcasts. Everybody all the time, they're like, "Oh, I don't know if you're, I don't know how busy you are. Would you be interested in doing a podcast?" I don't give a poop if you have 1,000 subscribers or, 400,000 subscribers. I will go on pretty much any podcast. The ones I turn down though are the ones that are like, build up your investment portfolio. Cause I'm not
Like bad information, or like trying to scam somebody, or,
Yeah.
like the real estate, like these like
I won't do the crash
courses.
bro kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I just won't do that. Something that just doesn't feel right for me, I won't do it. But anybody that's just, trying to just talk about the real estate market in general, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Again, I'll talk about anything. I don't care.
Right. Exactly. But the thing is that it's a great platform, and you can really it's so easy now with some of this software out there that you can live stream YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can even do it into Instagram. Do you think now that TikTok is going that long form horizontal stuff, do you think that they'll tie that into it?
You know what? I don't think I think it's worth a try. Honestly, if they're wanting they're saying now, I showed Joe this. They're wanting people to upload videos instead of vertically, horizontally. And the reason being, if this is just like people are just guessing, but they're thinking that they're going to be running ads at the top or at the bottom of these videos. So when you're watching it, vertically, you'll have the video horizontally, and then they can put the ad up here. So I don't think it would hurt, because they want videos over 10 minutes. They're wanting to be YouTube basically, because they know that is going to bring them the most
Right.
ad revenue for the platform. The short form got people over to their platform, and they're trying to convert it to make them more money.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to do. Who knows if they're going to be successful, but it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to try it. I will say this: the avatar of people that watch TikToks need those. Your hook better be good. Your hook better be damn good, because
Because if
you
not,
think the
they're
attention
gone.
span is bad on YouTube, it's even worse on TikTok. People want instant gratification. So if you're going to do that, make sure that it's something that you know that you're going to grab their attention for quite some time. I don't think it's a bad thing to try. And you can always like edit out the back end of your video where it says, click over here to watch this video next. You can erase all that out and upload it to TikTok. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
What's the worst that
Exactly.
can happen? At least it's out there. I used to years ago put all my videos on Facebook business pages. No one ever watched
Mhm.
that crap. No one ever watched it. I mean, they used to, but not anymore. And so when I was only getting like 10 views, I quit doing it. Aaron says, wait a minute, am I on the other side of the lead funnel? Oh, no. You're in the inner circle, dude. You are in the inner circle. You're like you fell out of the funnel and now you're in
Yeah,
you're
now
you're
you're learning.
yes, you're in the
You
edge
get
of
to
the
be on the call in an hour, or well, less than an hour now because I was
yeah,
late.
less than an hour. We have our we do group coaching. If everybody doesn't know, I'm going to go ahead and plug the course while we're talking about it. But we do group coaching right after this for over an hour, where we help students that are already been through the course and the brand new students. So the new students start first, and they get we go over what happened in the last week with the course, and we get to answer their questions about what they just reviewed. And then the back end of the course is all the students have already been through the entire course, and we help them with their thumbnails, their titles, their whole videos, their hooks. And just because you went through the 8-week course doesn't mean we abandon you. Joe and I are always there for you. And I mean, we do a good service for a cheap rate as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
You get full access to us for a long time. So
Yeah, and not only that, but then we're also creating an amazing community of people that now have a good understanding of how their strategy should go. And on our Discord group, they actually help each other out too. So
mhm.
it's not just us. And some of them are on the live stream now, like, and they're contributing again. It's just amazing to have,
Once a geek, always a
great,
geek.
yeah, great people to be a part around with and a part of. It's awesome.
All of the videos end with me laughing and a geeky laugh. I do.
Yeah, when she did that, I was dying, and I'm like, "You've got to record that. We have to put that in every video."
Yes, I
It
did.
it's amazing.
'Cause I'm a nerd.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple other questions I have with the live streaming. If you're trying to get set up, Kristina, let's say you're on a budget, you've never done live streaming before, you don't have very many videos on YouTube, maybe you have 5 videos or 1 video, who cares? Maybe it's a brand new channel. What do people really need to get started to do live stream? Like, honestly, like, what do they have to go all out and get all this stuff to do it? Like, what do you recommend?
Well, if you're just starting out and you wanna see if this is for you, just use your laptop, webcam that belongs to it in that microphone. It's gonna sound tinny, you're gonna sound like you're in an empty room, and then eventually you're gonna wanna upgrade, which is fine. But even, like, some of my guests that have come on there, they don't have that fancy equipment, and so they're on their cell phones answering questions, and nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. So, just start with what you have. If you don't have the necessary subscriber count to do a live stream straight from YouTube, get a third party uh, app like this, StreamYard. I use StreamYard, and I've been using StreamYard. I used to use OBS, which is very, very clunky, and
Yeah.
it's very clunky, and you have to have
Laggy, like the voice,
laggy,
it
and you have
doesn't match up with your speech.
audio.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have to really like I felt like I was such a computer nerd because I was always like, "Oh, look at all the packets that were dropping," and then I was like, equalizing my audio all the time. This is makes it so simple. I mean, it's all like housed on StreamYard itself. They give it to you for free, but if you do the free one, they put this little duck emblem up on the
Mhm.
corner. So just know that. But you can do it through there, and it's so easy. They just connect it straight to your YouTube account, and all you have to do is hit live, and it's done. That's what I would suggest. Just go ahead and get StreamYard. It makes it very, very easy. It's they have tons of tutorials on the School of YouTube, and you can follow exactly how to use
It's
StreamYard.
very straightforward and
Very straightforward.
really easy to implement for sure.
Right. If you've ever been on a Zoom call, you can pretty much figure out StreamYard. It makes it even easier because there's just some little buttons at the bottom and everything. Now, if you actually buy a subscription, it actually houses your live streams afterwards. So if
Yep.
you wanted to download this live stream instead of going to YouTube to download it, you can download it straight from StreamYard itself. And you can cut it up the way you want to for your video or shorts or whatever you're planning on doing with it. It makes it's so easy. Now, what I do with my live streams, and everybody should do this, because I mean it's just so simple, is I just strip the audio, because you can download it as a video file or an audio file. I just strip the audio straight from StreamYard, and then I upload it as a podcast on all the podcast things.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, I'm surprised. I get about 65 downloads per episode.
That's awesome. And
I don't
it's
do
no
anything
extra
with
work.
the
One little
editing.
button to download the file, and then you upload it to
Yeah.
the system. Yeah.
Yeah, Anchor. I use a program called Anchor, so it does it through Spotify. It does it through Apple Podcasts. It uploads it to several different places. So yeah, just go ahead and do that through Anchor.
Yeah.
And like, I don't put a ton of effort into podcasting. There's so many podcasts out there. I just think it's one of those things. It's like consistency. It's out there. Some people like to listen to a podcast, and it's just easier for them, especially if they're on the road. So they'll listen to it in their car.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about the lagging as much as if they were trying to listen into it as a video through YouTube.
Yep.
Podcasting is easier.
I do that. I'll be on Spotify, and as I'm driving, I'm listening. Yep.
Yep. So there's just one thing another way you can, capture more leads. Now I do put my lead capture form in my description on Spotify or, on Anchor. Yep. So that way they can click on it, and any kind of affiliate links as well.
Right. So one of the things that I think is also, a couple people have mentioned about, like short form stuff. One of the things that we do, and it's kind of an afterthought, we don't put on this channel, we really don't put any real effort into like short form stuff, but we do have like AI cut up our streams that we do. So each week we have that, we run it through this AI system, and it will actually generate like 10 different shorts. And then when I have a minute, we'll put it up or whatever. So, and
they're not like a big, it's
not
like a thing for us.
It's not a big focus, but what's really cool is it's amazing, like how well it pulls conversation from a, horizontal format 9:16, and then chop it into that vertical and create, a 10-second, a 15-second, 30-second, 60-second spot. Is pretty cool. So, and it's really no extra effort, because all I'm doing is copying the YouTube URL after this is done. It's on our live stream, put it in there, it cuts it, gives them to me, and then I can publish it right to TikTok or to YouTube, like super easy. So it's very little effort. We don't really like I said, we're not putting a lot of effort into that. More of what's important to us is these live streams and helping with channel reviews and other things like that. But it's cool that, hey, for a little bit, we're getting a little extra stuff, and then we do get some, some views on that.
I'm going to teach you a Louisiana word. I actually mentioned this to Joe.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a little bit more in Louisiana, they say, "Oh, you got a little bit of lanyap." So that's a little
lanyap.
Yeah, lanyap. That's a Louisiana word.
And
it's Mardi Gras, so I thought I'd throw that in there. This was a really good question. So they want to know, what about scheduling? And this is very simple. So if you have a smaller channel, just pick a day that you know that you will definitely do it every single week at the same exact time. Just like your videos, you should be consistent. So if you decide to start on Wednesday evening, stick with Wednesday evening forever and ever and ever. Now, if your analytics try to tell you something different in the future, you can change it then. But I would just I always used to do it on the same day. The only reason I switched to Sundays is that my analytics told me Sunday after church, people, were more likely to be on my channel. So I was like, okay, well, I don't put a video out then, so I'll just go ahead and live stream. And that worked. So everybody's channel is going to be different. I can't tell you a specific day, because some people will be better in the morning. Some people it's going to be better in the evening. It's going to depend on your audience. Right. So that was a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, someone's enjoying the conversation. I started reading my YouTube videos for TikTok horizontal, and they're exploding. 3 times more the views, and vertical than vertical get.
Hmm.
Yep. I'm blasting a question because I am hot after this. Thanks. Okay.
What did we miss his question?
I don't know. I think I just answered his question that was earlier, the one about the scheduling.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They said I did this. I did a year of your live streams on Thursday evenings for 12 to 15 minutes. Nope. And I stumbled across a Facebook page about live streams suggesting 45 to 60 minutes. This Monday will be my first long form. And somebody asked that question in the real estate mastermind group, and they were like, "Oh, 30 minutes, 30 minutes." Everybody kept saying 30 minutes. I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 no. You're literally stopping." So let me explain to you what YouTube is doing. When you go live, YouTube knows that you're live, and they're seeing who's coming in and watching your stream, right? They're seeing which of your subscribers is like, "Oh, she's live." And they're seeing how many people and the quickness they're staying and how long they're staying, right? So if you had a live stream and you had 30 people on there, 30 of your subscribers that had shown up, and let's just say you had 3,000 subscribers, and those subscribers now have stayed for the full 30 minutes. YouTube is like, "Oh, heck yeah. We're going to go ahead and shoot this out to another 3,000 people that might be interested in this live stream," because they know who your people are that would watch this. And then all of a sudden you're going to see more people that you've never seen before start showing up to your channel. So when you've cut it off at 30 minutes, you've really cut off the ability for your live stream to grow. So really, and I've even seen it sometimes where I hit that hour mark. I'm like, "Good, thank God I'm almost done." And all of a sudden I have a big pop, like 100 people show up, and I'm like, "Shit, I still got to talk."
It goes back to what matters most, and it's watch time, right? It's the
Yeah.
revenue. So they're looking at, hey, the longer we can keep people on here, the more money we're going to make.
Yep. So I hope that was helpful for everybody, but I know that there's like 16 people in here. Do we have some live stream?
I put some over there in your chat. Did you get them?
Chitty chatty?
Need a little
Chitty chatty. All right, let's try to, we're going to pull up the first one here. Share the screen. All right. Mikey Mike and the Funky Bunch, here we go. Mike Carpino, living in Greater Toronto area. He has his banner there. What do you want to say, Joe, about his banner?
There's a lot going on that banner.
Simplify.
Simplify everything. They know who you are. It's you, and the new videos every week. Subscribe. It looks like an older banner because obviously there's no subscribe down there. They don't have the shared links anymore. I would clean it up. I would just make it cleaner and add a really good value proposition. Like what
this is his value proposition.
Yeah, like right
Take
there.
Your name off of there and just say, "I help families in the GTA upsize with my Carpino Cares method."
Cares. So it's like, so that's what should be like the first thing, not your name.
Yeah,
and
I
know agents don't like to hear that, but that's really that's the most important thing, that at a glance they're like, "Oh, they're going to help me with real estate, and what's this Carpino Cares method?"
Yeah, like they want to know what what that means.
Yep.
And you got some secret sauce that they want to know about. The other thing too is that you don't have to put new videos every week, and you don't have to put subscribe. Everybody knows now that YouTube is, in order to watch more videos, they subscribe. Everybody knows the culture now. They used to do it all the time because nobody knew really what following and subscribing and all that stuff was. But now, I mean, everybody knows when you're on a social media platform, you're following, you're either subscribing or something like that. So you don't have to put that on there.
Yeah.
I would take all that off. I mean, just simplify this is all I would say. All right. So this is my biggest pet peeve right here. I would not put all these social media sites unless you have a huge following on these other places. The first thing you should have on there is book an appointment. Because what happens is when they click on your channel, the first thing you put in your about section as far as a link is concerned is the one that's highlighted. So if someone was to click on this, they're going to your Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
taking them away from there, and the chance of getting a lead just went out the window.
Yeah, I would book a call with me. That's what the first link you should have.
Yeah, and he has it in there. You just gotta get rid of all those other links.
Right, right. Because the thing is that YouTube, just like all social media sites, wants you to stay on YouTube. And so when you're taking them away from the platform itself, YouTube doesn't really like that. They want you to stay there. So if you're going to take them off the platform on YouTube, make sure it's a reason. Make sure it's a good reason, like booking a call with you. That's all I want to say there.
Yep, I concur.
You concur.
I
All right.
concur.
I do like his
Yes,
profile
photo's
picture.
great.
That one's fine. That is totally fine. Let's take a look, see at his give a little. All right. Toronto's real estate market roars back to life. Looking ahead at experts' take on the 2024 Toronto real estate market. Future-proof your Toronto home buying. Okay. I think these two, like this one that's 5 minutes long and this one's 2 minutes long, these look AI generated. And AI generated titles don't work. I can tell you that right now. They just do not work. Now, if you understand your audience and you have a bucket that, consistently follows that specific pattern, yes, AI generated titles could work, but most people don't do or have that strategy. And it doesn't look like you do either. So I would just simplify this. Try to make your titles at least 65 characters or less, and make it more juicy. What do you want to say, Joe?
Yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong with using AI to help flesh out ideas, but at the end of the day, you want to make a title like irresistible, something that they just have to click on, like it. And the other thing is with your thumbnails, really try to focus on that rule of thirds where a third of you is filling up the screen, and really, like, I would even say more your face. What I would do is go look at, some other channels that are getting good views that follow like your avatar or the niche that you're trying to do, and see what kind of thumbnails they're making and what kind of titles they're using, and work that into your video content and your strategy there. Because right now it seems like he's pretty specific on, he's working with home buyers. That's what it looks like to me.
Right. It's all like he's very specific that he's like Ontario. And just know that it's in Toronto. You don't have to put that in the title. You can use that as like the first words in your description. YouTube already knows that you are in Canada and that you are, talking about Ontario in Toronto. They know it by what you're saying in your videos.
Yep.
But if you use that in the first sentence of your description, you don't necessarily have to have that in the title.
Yep.
Just make it a little bit more juicy, I would say. But I mean, I don't hate his thumbnails.
No, I mean, he's definitely trying different things and with different, the one thing I would say is get rid of the stroke, the white.
Yeah, the white stroke, the white line across it. Yeah. That was a thing. It's not a thing anymore. The other thing too is like you said, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Make your face bigger. Yay. All right, that was a quick one. What do you think about that, Joe?
I think he's on his way. He's been on YouTube a long time, so.
Yep. Oh, this is my area of the world. Well, I used to live here. Living in Boston in the burbs with Jeffrey Shub. New videos every week. Subscribe to learn about living in the Boston and the burbs. All right. So I'm going to let you know right now, this changed. They used to have these little tabs right here that you could click on. They don't do that anymore. It just happened like 3 months ago, Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about 3 months ago or so.
Yeah, they don't have the little icons you can click on.
They got rid of them.
So that would be over here, and so that's not there anymore. So you're going to move that let's meet in person over here, and you're going to move that to your about section. It's going to be your first link, clickable link. So that way it shows the first thing here. I always tell people this. You don't need to put new videos every week. You don't need to tell them to subscribe. And I would work on your value proposition here, because are you a tour guide or are you selling houses? Because all you're talking about is living in the area, but you're not just talking about living in there. You're talking about buying and selling a house.
What he could do that's super simple. It looks to me like he's kind of relocation specialist, right, for that area. So what he could do is relocating to Boston in the burbs, like, and then have like a skyline of that area. I like the map actually of like the little things going there, you know. So at a glance, it's like, oh, there people are moving there. Maybe have some more arrows from different areas, um, but I for sure 100% I agree. Get rid of new videos every week. Subscribe, and I would have everything about if you're doing a relocation, I would do that. I also would take your logo off of your profile picture and put your face there. Um,
Yeah,
I
people
think
don't identify with logos
yeah,
unless
they
you're
get
Pepsi or Coke. You know,
yeah.
no one's
They
gonna.
don't. They're not going to recognize. It's way better for them. It's more approachable with your face.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think with a couple little tweaks, it could definitely get the point across really quickly of what services he offers.
there was a question that popped up that I thought was pretty interesting. It says, "Question: How important is short form content for your overall strategy?" Um, I'll tell you, it's not. Like, work on your long form. That's going to bring you the most business
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah. I
Every
mean, you might get depending if you're like if you might get leads through other like short form, but if we're talking YouTube, you want to focus on long form stuff.
And
But
I know YouTube, like the YouTube managers will tell you, like, you need to do shorts. You need to do shorts. But I look at channels all day, every day, and everybody that I know that has done shorts when
it's
they've
like
already
ruined a
established
lot
a
of their
long form
stuff.
contact, they tank.
Yep.
There's a specific way you need to have shorts done, and you need to make them extremely interesting because it's an attention span thing, and people are doing this. And when you're sitting there talking about interest rates, people don't care. They zone out. They just do this. So just realize that. Now I've seen people that are like, oh, I got 10,000 views on that short. I'm like, yeah, but you have like 7 comments, and how many
Yeah.
people called you from that? I mean, if
And
you had 10,000 views on a video, on like a long form video, that's going to get much better conversion than a short.
yeah, and the thing is to your point, that's the thing is what you're talking about cannot really be covered in 30 seconds. Like
Mhm.
this is real estate. Like there's a lot more to it, and what you're doing hopefully is educating them about, a specific, thing in real estate that you're good at. So that's why they're there, is to learn. They're there to get educated. And if, it's not that you can't take a 30-second clip, and if you work at it, have it, help generate, it to go to your long form content. But in my opinion, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze on that. It's way easier to do longer form content and to actually get engagement from your audience, because you're going to get way more people talking, way more people commenting. And then that gives you a really good idea of what the pulse is for your channel, like what people are really have questions on, interested in, and you can make more content for that. Because you can get 10,000 views, 20,000 views on a reel or a short or any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't always translate to, oh, I
Calls.
got it. I got a call.
Mhm.
But if you have someone that's watched your channel and they've been following you and it has 500 views, but you have really good information,
You're going to get
they're
calls.
more likely to call you.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do, right? I mean, you want to get the calls so you can get the leads either to refer out or to help them in your local area.
Yep. Yep. Okay, let's go back to Jeffrey. So Jeffrey, let's talk. I don't hate your titles. I'll say that, but I will say that you don't need to write Massachusetts on every single thumbnail. You have it in the title, so you don't need it on the thumbnail. And then I always tell people, don't, if you can't say it in just a few words, then you've kind of missed the point of a thumbnail. Imagery is what people click on and identify. And think of it this way. Say you're trying, your image should basically be for someone that doesn't know how to read. They know what the image is, and that's what's going to get their attention. Just think of it like they do not know how to read. So what image could I give them to let them know what this video is about without using any words whatsoever? And so like if I'm going to put a word on there, it's like it's over, or look here, like something that has like power words that gives attention to the actual thumbnail itself, that makes them click. I'm not writing the same words that I would in the title itself. So instead of I like this one right here, you put it's like 2023 all over again. I would say all over again. And then I would have had that frustrated face, like, oh, like that kind of thing, instead of all those other words.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing that happens where we're trying to get them to understand and see everything just off of the thumbnail. But when you see that on your phone, or you see that even on the laptop, there it's small. Now, granted, a lot of people are moving to the TV and that, but if they're moving to the TV, that means the thumbnail is bigger. So you can really get them at a second glance to look at it. That's what's going to catch their eye. You got to get something that just stops them from doing it. And then the next thing they do is they read the title. And if the title is now, like Kristina says, if it's juicy, if it creates like something where like, man, I have to click on this because what makes, the top 10 towns in Massachusetts, or what's the worst 10 towns? Like it doesn't really, it's finding that imagery and words, but few words, so that and again, remember, it's for an actual viewer, like not an algorithm, not SEO, like don't keyword stuff or any of that stuff. Just make it for someone like yourself that's like, I would be interested in that because I'm in that market.
And one thing I want you to go back to doing, which you stopped doing, was you have where you can actually see your face. I mean, literally you have pictures that you should be bigger. Your face should basically take up 1/3. If you're going to put your face on there, they should see the whites of your eyes. 1/3 of that thumbnail should be, if you're going to put your face on there, it should be your noggin. Sometimes I'll even cut off the top of my head just so they can see my eyes more. And that's what you want on your images. Like very similar to this. I would even have made yourself just a little bit bigger than this, but this is the closest. And now you're too small. You're super teeny tiny. Another thing too is your
You're
shirt
blending
kind of
into the background.
Your shirt is blending right in. So it kind of looks like a floating little peanut head right here. So make it bigger.
And
what do you think?
And if you do that, just one other thing, just like think of it composition wise, like you're blending in. So like if that's the case, you either need to like darken the background, or you need to change your shirt color, or you need to do something that pops. But if you're bigger, that's also going to be a lot easier, because then it's distinguished differently, because you've got like 3 sections basically.
We have a really good question about live streams since we're talking about those. They were asking if it like the analytics are different for live streaming. And yes, they are. It affects your channel differently. They treat it differently than a video. But I'm telling you right now, if you have a really good live stream that has a lot of interaction, it will get pushed out like a video. I've had a few of them do that. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I'm just talking crap like I always do.
Well, and the thing is that again, you talk the stuff, you give the advice, you do the things, and it will grow organically. People will subscribe to you because they like what you're talking about. I mean, we have never done, I think, any real videos on our channel, and we're slowly getting subscribers that we're not even asking for. They're just subscribing because they like the content.
Yeah, I don't ask for them to subscribe. I ask them to fill out a form.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I rather do. Contact me so you get a referral, Aaron has a question. It says, for StreamYard, do you guys recommend this format where you sit, where you are slit even between the screen, or the other way around, where you each have a square on each side of the screen or in a background? I don't know.
We just mess around with it. You have different formats that you can
like,
pick, and you just hit buttons, and then they'll move you around.
Yeah, like you can do all sorts of little things. See?
So it's personal preference. If you're doing a stream by yourself, having like yourself on one side, and then like whatever you're talking about, the graph or the news article on the other side is very engaging. Or you can just have it just yourself. But and you can also like, if you really wanted to get in numbers and doing market updates and stuff, you can even import like, a PowerPoint and stuff like that if you really want to get nerdy into it. But we basically just whatever button we just press and move them around.
And like you can like move it, like I can move this over here and like this over here. Like I don't know if we can do it while we're talking, but
They
I guess
did add video backgrounds now.
yeah. So like now we have this moving background. I did that today.
I saw that. I'm like,
I
oh,
know.
that's
I wanted
pretty
to be
cool.
cool. Well, yeah.
So there's different things. The other thing to know is if you are on StreamYard and you do pay, there's different subscription levels. So like I think it's $25 a month or something like that.
Mhm.
It'll let you have two, like you and a guest, and then you can record up to 720. I don't think it'll let you do 1080, right?
No, I have 1080. If you get the higher subscription, it's 1080.
Yeah. And then, but you can't have like, if you wanted to do like a multi-camera, I know we're getting into like really crazy live stream stuff, but if you
Mhm.
wanted a second camera, you have to do the higher subscription. I think it's like $50 a month,
Mhm.
but it's relatively inexpensive if you're using this for lead generation.
But if you want to go the free route, OBS is free. You just got to
Yeah.
make sure you have a
Just go watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how to
Mhm.
figure it out because
Yeah, it's
the
gonna take
learning
you
curve is steep.
steep. Yeah. But once you figure it out, you're like, you can do so many cool things with
Yeah.
it. I mean, I used to have so much fun with it, but then it would drag down the computer and it make things slow. And I was like,
I just
dang it.
hated that the lag between the audio and the syncing of the lips. Like that's the only thing I hated.
Yeah, you got to work with it. Like I eventually got it down, but whatever. Anyways, okay, so we got the Nibel. Would you say that was, or can I'm gonna say
I can't
Nibel.
see it. You probably need to share that
Oh,
one.
oh. Well, I guess I gotta go put the right thing on the screen. Sometimes I'm a dingleberry. All
Wait,
right.
didn't we do this one?
No, I've never done.
I've seen this before. Where have I seen it?
I don't know. The Nibel Real Estate Network.
Hmm.
Real estate. Well, it's clear what it's about
No.
real estate. I don't know. Okay, the only thing I would wonder is if it's for realtors or the public. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just me nitpicking. And then I would again, I would do like you need to verify your channel so you can have highlighted blue. You see this where it's not highlighted? That's because you don't have
You gotta go through their verification, and then
yep,
it'll let you it'll be a clickable link.
right. You need to verify your channel with YouTube itself. It will tell you you need to verify your channel. So go into your like analytics and then go into settings and it'll say verify channel. So do that. So that way these will be highlighted blue. But instead of asking for a free online home value, make it like book appointment with us to get a free home value.
Yeah.
So that way you can capture their information. And I personally, I'm going to tell you this. I don't care what brokerage you work for. Any of them could fold at any time.
Yep.
So I would strongly suggest creating your own website with your own form that you get to keep that forever. Because I know in your heart of hearts, you're never going to leave your brokerage, but
you may.
happen.
But you
Things
may
happen. And you want to brand yourself. I mean, people don't go to a company brokerage just because of the name of the brokerage. They go there because they like you. So I would brand for yourself, not brand for a company. That's just me. That's just me. You do what you want to do, but I'm telling you, because I mean, like, even like I used an old CRM system when CRMs first came out, and I was so excited about this because I could do everything online. This was revolutionary back in the day, and so I was like putting all my clients in there and everything. One day it just stopped, didn't work anymore, and I had nothing to download, and all those drip mail campaigns, everything I had was gone instantaneously. Couldn't get a hold of anybody. They certainly took my money for another freaking 3 months, and I tried to cancel them. Could not get a hold of anybody. Gone, just like that. So,
yeah, I'm a big believer in like owning your own data and having backups of that data.
Yes, because anything can happen at any time.
I like his video quality though.
I know. I'm kind of jelly. Not gonna lie. Look, hold on. Look, that looks good.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I like the colors on it.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, let's Let's do that. And you know, the reason why we don't play videos on these live streams is because you can get in trouble with copyright. That's like, you can't play videos unless it's like 10 seconds, and then you have to like talk over them, so it's not like considered duplicate content. So that's why we never play them on live streams. Okay, warning: avoid these money pits and increase our ROI. You know what? This makes sense. First of all, he did a lot of good things. Simple imagery, easy to read words. His face could have been a little bit bigger, but it's very clear that that's a for sale sign.
Yep.
I dig it.
Yep.
That's a good thumbnail. And I don't even hate the title.
No,
you know what probably
just
would have
needs to
worked?
be a little longer.
I was just going to say that. What did him in is if that video was over 8 minutes and 30 seconds, that would have been, he probably would have been done even better. But I will say this: it kind of looks like you guys are doing a mix of tours with open house updates. With you don't have a content strategy. You're all over the place. So
yeah,
I
it's
would
like a catch-all.
Yep, I would really work on a content strategy where you're trying to really figure out what your channel is about and who your avatar is. You're just kind of making things for everything. You're talking about open houses. You're talking about like local Easter egg hunts. This channel's about real estate. And so I would keep it about real estate and try to figure out who your avatar is. Like, you know, are the people that are first time home buyers? Are they relocation? Who are they? And that's who you need to be making content for. You're a little bit everywhere. I do like the Game of Thrones stuff, but that isn't really pertinent to real estate.
Yeah, it doesn't fit for what you're doing.
And absolutely not. Nope. But if you really like doing home tours, then create a home tour channel. Those do great.
Yeah.
Those do great.
Yeah, or, you know, if you want to do both, you know, and you're a team and you have the bandwidth, do one channel that is home tours only, and you walk through and do your home tour.
This is a home tour channel. It's already told him. Look, his top videos are home tours.
Views right there.
Yep.
So yeah, so then
this channel is a home tour channel. Yep. That's when you need to go back to. YouTube has told you what they want from you on this channel, home tours. So go back to doing that. And if you'll probably be even more successful if you made those home tours a lot longer.
Yep. Like 20 minutes.
Yep. 14 to 20 minutes. Yep. So, somebody said Ecamm is a good one too. You know, years ago I used to use one on it was so good too. It was on Facebook, and it was like StreamYard, right? Be Live was the name of it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and where did they go? Like if they
I don't maybe they got bought out by StreamYard. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, but Be Live was great, except for they didn't do it on YouTube. They only did it on Facebook, and I was like, oh man, if they could just do that on YouTube, that'd be amazing. And I guess they just couldn't get it together, or maybe they just sold it. I don't know, but I liked it. I got rid of that subscription though as soon as.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I personally really do like StreamYard. It's time is really valuable, and I like that you can set up templates. You can put your logos in there. You can do, when a comment comes in, you can put it up however you want it to look. You can even have like a ticker of like, hey, ask questions, you know, like, so if you're talking and you have a specific thing, you can put stuff in there for it. So I really like how easy it is to swap all of this stuff out, and you don't really need a producer to do it. You can do it all yourself.
When you do get busy though, please get yourself a producer. When your chat starts going crazy, it's going to save your life, because sometimes what happens is that people will ask you a question, and you know, like, it's going to take you a minute to find the answer.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a producer in the background, they see what questions popping up. They know you well enough to know that you probably don't know the answer to that. So they'll pull up an article or something for you to have it ready and up on the deck right there. So it looks like you know what you're talking about. Oh, look. Yeah, I have the answer for you right here.
Yeah.
Boom.
and if you have an assistant or whatever, but in the beginning, if you're just getting started, you probably don't have to worry about that for a minute. But this software does have that capability where they can log in and can control everything. So all you have to do is Are these all the new videos? The video
These are all the
backgrounds?
backgrounds I did because it's Mardi Gras time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. So, whenever you're ending your live streams, the one thing I want you to do is this is the perfect time for you to plug yourself, right? So you don't have to introduce yourself. They can read your name on there, but plug your services, whether that be, sending out referrals, whatever it is, send them to that spot. Just say, and that's how you end them all. So we're going to tell you this, but we're ending this. If you haven't yet and you're interested in building your YouTube channel and having success in 2024, go to the realestatevideogeeks.com website and go ahead and sign up for our weekly one-on-one courses, one-on-one coaching for YouTube. We're there for you for life. So you'll never be abandoned even after the 8 weeks course.
Yep.
Joe?
You have access to it forever, and you can go back and rewatch the content. We also have an amazing community on Discord that are all like-minded, helping each other move the needle towards, success on getting leads and getting more information for, how to make more money, affiliate links, all kinds of stuff. So we highly recommend it.
Yeah, I concur, Joe Eves. I have to say it is the best real estate YouTube course out there, and I do profess that. So if you're interested, we're in week 5. So in about 3 to 4 more weeks, we'll be starting the next group, and you're more than welcome to join at any time. We always just suggest that you start on week 1, but there's people that start in the middle, and they just keep
going and they go through again, and we love it.
Yeah, it's fine. We're all friends there. We're there for you for life. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday. If you have any suggestions for us for our live stream, just let Joe and I know. We're on the old Facebooks. Give us a little ringy dingy, and we'll consider it for our next live stream. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Oh wait, let's do some music.
Maybe some music. We got to end with some music.
Yeah, let's do a
Did
little.
Did they get any new music, or is it all the same? Hey, you can upload your own music though.
Yeah, you can with StreamYard. Yep. Woo! I need to throw some heat.